Hello everyone. In today's video I would like to talk about mocking in Golang. First, I will build a simple get route which make an external API call and return a list of to-dos. Next, write a test file to verify the result. Then, refactor the code to allow mocking. Finally, discuss a few mocking methods. I start by creating a Go module with Go mod init command. This will create a Go mod file with module name and Go version number. Next, create a to-do struct to hold the result. The to-do struct contains user ID of type integer. Integer ID. String title. And completed status of type Boolean. Now, let's create a main.go file which contains the Go server. Package main. Create a main function. Declare a new variable to hold the new router. Create a to-dos route which calls a get to-dos handlers and return a list of to-dos. And start the server with HTTP list and serve at port 8080. Now I create a new handlers package which makes a call to the external API and get to-do list. Package handlers. Create a function get to-dos which accepts two arguments, a response writer and a pointer to request. Declare a to-dos variable to hold the result. Make a call to external API with http.get. Write an error response with status 400 if error occurs. Convert bytes into totos object using JSON package. Return result with status 200. Now I can start the server with command go run main.go. And I can verify the result in the browser with URL localhost :8080/todos. Everything seems to be working as expected. Let's write a test file to test our handlers function and create a new file called handlers_test.go. Create a new function test get todos which accept a pointer to testing. Make a request call to the todos route. Using http test package.new recorder to record the result. Declare a handler and calling getTodos handler function. Execute the request with serve HTTP method. Using assert function from testify package, I can to check that recorder.body contains the title string. To execute the test, go to terminal and enter go test-v . I can see that our test passes. However, in unit testing, I don't want to depend on the external API call, so I need to refactor the code to allow the mock of the external API call. The first method is to use function variable. The second method is to use interface. The third is to use interface with dependency injection. And finally, I can use mock function from testify package. So let's start with the first method using function variable. Create a new function variable called http get which accepts a URL string and return body in bytes or an error. Then copy http.get call from our getTodos function into the new http get function. Return empty byte pointer and error instead of write out the result to the browser. Then in our getTodos function, replace the http do get call with the new function http get which return body and byte instead of the resp object. Now I am going to mock the http get function in our test to return result I want without hit the external API. In the test getTodo function, declare a new variable called _http get equal http get. This will save our actual function, and I can reset it back at the end of the test using defer function. Now create mock HTTP GET function with a new function which return the JSON bytes. If I run the test again, and it still passes, if I change return value and run the test again, it will fails. This confirms that the test is calling the mock function. Let's update the expected value to the new return value and run the test again. It will passes. Now let's look at another way of mocking, using interface. In order to mock using the interface, we will need three pieces of object. 1. The interface that contains the method signature. 2. The struct that implement the method. 3. The mock struct that also implement the same method. For example, an HTTP interface contains method getSignature, the HTTP client which implement the get method, and the mock HTTP client which also implements the get method. However, the body of the get is different. The one on the left is called the HTTP package and will hit the external API with the URL passes, and the one on the right returns a mock function. I can return anything I want during test. So let's see this in actions. First, let's create a API package which contains API.go. Create an interface HTTP interface which contains get methods. Then create an HTTP client which implements the get methods. The get method returns the HTTP get function which is moved from the handler's package. Move the HTTP get function into API package. Next, create a mock struct mock HTTP client which also implements the get method, but returns a mock get function. The mock get function is just a placeholder which will be implemented in test file. In order to make this work, I need to create a public variable called client of type HTTP interface and set it to be an instance of HTTP client. Then replace the HTTP get in handlers package with apis.client.get. Remove the differ function. Set API.client to the mock HTTP client instance. Replace the HTTP get mock function with the pi.mock get function. Now, run the test again, and it passes. The third method is slightly different from the second method by using interface with dependency injection. So instead of importing the client, it is passed in as a parameter to the getToDo handler. So in the main function, create a new variable client and set to be an instance of a pi.http client. Then pass it into getToDo handler. Now the getToDo's handler function needs to change to accept HTTP interface and return HTTP handler function. While using HTTP interface type, the interface type is like a placeholder, as it will accept both HTTP client and mock HTTP client types. Then I can replace a pi.client with just client. So in test, I can just create client of type mock HTTP client and pass it into the getToDo's function. Verify the test, and it still passes. Finally, I can use the mock.mock and testify package to create a mock function. This will simplify the mock function creation. First, add mock.mock inside the mock HTTP client struct. Then, remove the mock get function, as it is no longer needed. Modify the get implementation. Declare a ret variable and set it to mock called. Return ret of type byte, an error. In the test file, replace the mock get function with client.on, which they accept the function name and their argument, and return the result. In the test file, replace the mock get function with client.on, which accept the function name and its arguments, and return the result. Finally, add client.assert expectations at the end of the test to verify that the mock function is called correctly. Verify the test again, and it still pass. This is the end of today's video. Thank you for watching.